So I've just seen The Big Prince. No, it was not. So I've just seen The Middle Prince. Oh. So I've just seen The Small Prince. No, it was the freaking... Okay, I've just seen The Little Prince. So I went into the cinema and saw The Little Prince. And for people who have watched my other videos, you will know that this movie was one of the movies that I looked most forward to this year. The movie is directed by Mark Osborne, who also directed the first Kung Fu Panda movie. And he takes us to this new movie called The Little Prince. The Little Prince takes us to a world of a system that is boxed in to be effective and productive. And there's not really time and space for any imaginations, wonders and enjoyment. You need to be productive. And our main protagonist, is a little girl that have been given a life plan from her mother to be productive and effective, to become a great adult when she gets older, like her mother. And this protagonist believes her mother and trying to do what her mother tells her to do, because she wants to be a great adult like her mother. And her mother is a really successful lady that have a job and goes on job like everyone else and doing the same routine: job, sleep, job, sleep, job, sleep. And that's the life of this world. Until they move into a neighborhood where they have a neighbor that thinks differently. He believes in the imagination and the wonders of this world and enjoyment of what is around us. And this girl's don't really like this guy in the beginning. It's an old man and she thinks he's weird and she's trying to stay away from him. She's actually scared of him. But he presses on her curiosity to come into this world of wonders that he have created for himself. And like young kids is, like kids are, they are curious. And he opens up her curiosity to enter this world. And when she enters this world, she enters the world and a story that this man have created by a little prince that live on a planet that is not much bigger than himself. And this little prince actually have a big role in this movie, because this story is actually a big part of this movie overall. I won't go so much more into details because I don't want to spoil anything, but it's kind of her entering into this old man's world that's opened up for a new world of imagination. And that's like what it's about: the systematic world, the real world of productivity, and the imagination world. So, was it a good movie? My expectation was really high for this movie, and I'm a little afraid it was too high actually. But I liked the movie. I think it was a great movie. And what I really think was really great with this movie is that you just know that this story was made with a message in the beginning. It had a premises that was just created around this world. It was not like you have created an environment and a world you wanted to show and then made a premises over that. No, you had a premises and you wanted to find out, how can I create a world around this premises to tell the story I want to tell, because you really feel like the writers and directors of this movie is really eager to tell a message, a moral, a premises that is really important for them. And you really see that through the whole movie, through the pictures, the motives in the movie, like what they're saying. It's all the time is just developing into the premises conclusion in the beginning. And I think that's really great about this movie, because I think most movies should be like that. They have a premises they want to express to people, and they want to find out, how can I express this the best way. And I think too many movies is not really so successful in this art, and I think maybe too much is focusing on telling and showing a world they think is interesting, rather than having a premises they're really eager to get expressed. And this movie just had that. It just really wanted to express a premises that was so important for them, and it was just so great to go through, and I really liked the story overall. I think maybe it wanted to tell it too much. So I think at the times it told too much of the premises over and over again. You were like, they were saying directly what the premises was. And I think that was maybe taken a little too far. And I think actually they could have not told it so much and just kept it for what it was, because it told its story by itself just by showing it. So I think that they told too much in this movie, but overall I really think it was great. I really loved it despite that. Unfortunately, I didn't see it in English speaking, because in my country you have it in the native language, and that's Danish, because I come from Denmark. And I was a little sad by that, because I really do like when I don't get a dubbed version, but I get the real version. So when that comes on Netflix the 5th of August, I'm really gonna watch that and really getting the real voice acting here, because there was really some amazing actors in this movie: James Franco, Jeff Bridges, and Paul Rudd. It was and Elizabeth Banks also. It was actors I really wanted to hear in this movie, and I was a little sad I was able to hear them out. But despite all that, I really like the movie overall. I really like the build up in the story, the way they told the story, and there's just an explanation of how good the story just told the premises. You have Act 1 where you get introduced to this systematically boxed world, and when you go into Act 2, it's evolved into taking you like to a new world. That's the world of this old man's and this girl's imagination. No, I would say the old man's imagination. And you get a story told there. So you enter a new world when you go into Act 2. And when you go into Act 3, you get into this girl's, what she have developed through the movie. You go into her development, and you go into a new world that she is creating. And I think that is so amazing, because that's an important thing of this movie, is how we see and perspect this world. And I really liked the build up in that way, that you like entered in every act a new world. It was amazing, and I really loved that aspect of it, and it really told the story really well. I really like the animation also. It's changing the animation through the story you get from the little prince. There is like little dollish, paperish drawn. It's not. I don't know if it's drawn or if it's actually made real life, but the animation is different from the live animation you get from the systematic world and from the protagonist world. Is real animation, and I really like that different animation style, and I really have a really nice feel to it and a really nice touch to it that I really love, that I haven't seen in other movies. I haven't seen other movies do like this. And what I really like about the story is like they have caught the childish imagination. They have caught the childish way of perceiving the world. And I really think that it's an important thing also in this movie, because I think actually we adults actually could learn a lot from these kids of how they perceive the world. I think we could learn a lot from that. Like, we maybe got a little too serious, because for me it was a little hard to see this childish imagination world. And when I got longer into it, I really began to enjoy it, and was like, have I really lost something of my childish way of thinking from when I was a kid? And I really miss that kind of thing, and I really got reminded that in this movie, that I need to bring this childish way of thinking back to life. I can't kill that. I need to keep that, and need to not forgetting that. And I think that's also an important part in this movie. Overall, I really like this movie. I think it had a premises that got told, maybe too much that I really didn't like, but it got told, and I think it was an important message and a moral that we people should see. And I really encourage you to see this movie. If you have the time, I do recommend you go and watch this. I think it's a story that all should watch, and it's a really great story to see with your kid, a parent's kid movie, because both the kid and the adult will get something out of it, and that's beginning to be really rare in animation movies, that both parts benefits really great from this movie. But it's a movie for adults as much as it is for kids, and that's great about this movie also. Please see this movie if you have the time, and please, if you had another view on this, please comment and tell me what you thought about this movie. If you thought I said something that you agree with, or if you disagree with it. I would really like to hear the disagreements also, because we have mixed views in a lot of things, and it's really important to highlight these mixed views and see how we see the world differently from each other, and share that with each other. And I really would encourage you to comment below and say and tell me what you thought about this, so we can get so many mixed views as possible. I tried to make this video a little shorter. It could be also great if you comment if you like the more shorter reviews or you like the more longer reviews. I will think about if I should make them longer or shorter. But thank you for watching, guys, and until next time, see ya!